Hello, 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 and welcome to Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox. But we haven't broken any news stories as of late. Why is that, Mitch?
Because I've been busy. I've been out of the loop, so.
I am your host, James J. And making his rare occasion back on the show, Mitch Mayhem.
Oh, stop it. I had 2 weeks off? Not even that.
You were missing in action, and Scooter was killed in action.
What happened? I just know I haven't talked to him this week. I know he's been sick, but.
No, he's dead.
What have you heard?
No, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead? What do you mean he's dead?
Well, obviously you don't watch the show.
I don't know what happened last time, man. I've been out of it. I haven't watched wrestling. I haven't watched anything, man.
Not wrestling. This podcast that you are a part
of. I'm saying I haven't watched anything, including this podcast. Sorry.
Damn, Mitch Mayhem, you bastard.
I'm sorry, man. I've been busy.
So, Rey Mysterio was in New York City a couple weeks ago, and it is not confirmed, but kind of confirmed that Corey Graves made the hit.
Oh, God. I'm still kind of lost as to why you see he's dead, though. I hope you can fucking.
Because Rey Mysterio kills motherfuckers, obviously.
Because he was next to Rey. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. I was trying to put that together. I was like, what? For a minute, I thought you were insinuating he was off the show and doing what the Young Bucks do. When someone gets fired, they die. Or when they leave.
Well, I have had co-hosts die on me before, so it's not.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought it was.
No, he will be resurrected eventually. We're getting The Undertaker or Christopher Daniels, Fallen Angel gimmick, or at least somebody that could resurrect him. Hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah. What do you say? I don't know where to go from there.
Where we go from here is that it's a great day for wrestling, and depending on who you ask, it's a great day for Luke Harper and the Ascension, as they were released from their WWE contracts earlier this week.
Yeah. From what I hear, I don't know. Like I said, I've been out of the loop. I don't know, but before the official statements came out on Elise Sin Cara and Luke Harper, before all that, hold on. I'm trying to get the story right here. Repeat what you just said so I can have continuancy. I have something right here. Go ahead and say what you're saying. Yeah.
Luke Harper and the Ascension was released earlier this week from their WWE contracts.
Right, and the rumors were that they were going. You can stop. My dog's playing with me.
Shout out to Mitchell Dog.
All right. I had keep moving on. I'll come back to that when I remember. That shit happens, man, when you have too much on your mind.
How about you just give me your opinion on the matter?
I had something about that, more than opinion, about rumors that were going on, but I forgot exactly what I was going to say.
Talk about that, about it, and your opinion on.
Oh, okay, got it. It was the rumors. Sorry about that. The rumors were that Luke Harper, they were going to, if they released them at all, they were going to keep them on weight, to where they could not compete with another company for at least I would think at least 90 days, maybe longer. But that's what I've been hearing. If they were going to release people, they were going to put that, but you can't compete clause in there.
Well, that's pretty normal. 90 days non-compete clause.
Well, that's just what the rumor was. It might for Luke, because Luke Harper out of the bunch is the only person where I know when his contract ends, and for people like them, if they had like a long time on their contract still, like Luke Harper did, it might be until his contract's over. So, but for people like the Ascension, it's probably 90 days.
So,
I think I hear the Ascension was just a straight up firing.
So, Luke Harper, we're talking years possibly.
No, we're talking until March 2020. We're talking a few months.
Oh, okay.
I think I'll make sure about that. It's either spring or summer.
Okay, so not as bad.
Not until this time next year, but yeah, 6 months is still a long time in the wrestling world.
So, where do you think Luke Harper and the Ascension are going to land at this point?
The Ascension and a KFC somewhere in bumfuck Egypt. And then Luke Harper will probably end up in AEW eventually. I would not be surprised to see him do the indie circuit first, though.
Do you think it might be a little bit wiser if Luke Harper would take consideration to going to New Japan?
Sure. I just don't know if that's his cup of coffee. I don't know if he wants to go abroad. He can still do that kind of Japan, like that kind of tour, grueling tour that Japan puts you on in the States and all these other independents. He's got so many independents he hasn't been to, or new leagues since he's been in WWE, you know? He was signed in, like, I think 2013, so he's been off for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the places he used to wrestle at would love to have him back. I see him doing a tour, like I said, an indie tour, before he goes, whether it's New Japan or AEW, I see him doing an indie tour first.
I mean, Luke Harper was always one of those great talents that never really got realized in WWE, unfortunately.
That's because people like him, sometimes talent gets squandered in corporate environments. Corporate environments can choke the creativity out of the room because it's just let's do this it's all about the dollar usually.
Talking about squandered talent, Jordan Myers, ACH, whatever you want to call him.
Well, that's not squandered talent. He fucked that up himself.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's on him. No, like, I'm serious. I know some shit. Like, he pulled the race card and he just went nuts. I think the guy has some mental issues, and I wish him well, but he's not professional. He's not long for the professional world.
Well, you just said you knew some shit, so do you...
I've heard some, like I said, like, he's not professional. Like, or not just not professional, he's childish.
Right.
And there might be something wrong in his head. That's all.
I think that that's the perfect way to put it at this point. But
he shows what's it called? My friend megalomaniac. He called him a megalomaniac. Like he buys his own shit. He's kind of divorced from reality, stuff like that.
Yeah. And do you think this is only a for now type thing, or do you think we'll see ACH back when he gets his shit together?
Nah, dude's done. He is done. Unless, like, he can prove and be like, come back and say, dude, I was going through some mental illness, dude. I didn't know what the hell was happening. If he just stays on his high horse and tries to make it him about, or, him sticking up for himself about racist shit, when I heard he was talked to avidly about, or there numerous times with Triple H, and that, like, after 5 talks, he finally went public with it, and it seemed like it was just for publication. He just wanted to publicize it for his own gain. That's what I'm putting together from what I've learned.
So. Yeah. ACH, interesting guy.
Some people you just can't figure out in this world, man.
Interesting.
And I do believe he's suffering from something. So I don't want to bag on the guy.
Yeah.
I like it, sometimes you cannot explain certain things. Well, my dog is fucking crying. Hold on, I gotta open the door for him. DJ, chill out. I can't play with you right now. I'm doing a show. Sit down.
Hey, Kaliko spends time with his son while he's podcasting.
Yeah, well, my dog wants to fucking. I'm sure Kaliko's son doesn't fetch ball, so he does. He wants me to throw the ball all the fucking time.
Also going into this week, Bobby Roode and Primo got suspended for 30 days for. Actually, what I wanted to say before that was I've met ACH, nicest guy in the world. When I met him, so I do hope him the best in his future.
Right, I don't know him. I just heard from what I've heard, and I've never met him, don't know him. But from what I heard, like people say, it just depends on the day you catch him. Like he's that kind of cat, and that's unfortunate because you never know what you're gonna get, you know.
Right. Next in the news, Bobby Roode and Primo was suspended for violating the WWE wellness policy for 30 days. This kind of came out of nowhere, considering Bob.
Real quick, this confused me on two levels, because not just where you're gonna go with this, but I heard from what I know, Primo and Epico have been released.
Oh, really?
There was an announcement that they were released a month before this announcement. That's why I'm confused. Yeah.
I did not hear that.
There was a public statement about a month ago saying that Primo and Epico were released. Maybe they kept one of them. I don't know, but maybe they're still like on the last throes of their contract. I don't know.
Maybe it was just.
But I just know there was an announcement that they were released like a month ago.
Maybe they released Epico.
No, I remember it was Primo and Epico Cologne. I remember it very vividly. Excuse me.
Well,
but I'll get back to you on. Yeah, I'll get back to you on this next week. I'll look into it more.
Maybe they forgot that they fired them.
It's very possible.
But what about Bobby Roode? He's doesn't seem like one of those guys that has had wellness policy issues.
Okay, let me nip this in the bud. It's bullshit. It's absolute fucking bullshit, James. It's a fucking marijuana. It's about he smoked a fucking. He's either smoked a little weed or he was around a friend and smoked a little weed. That's nothing. That is not a drug to me. I'm sorry. And if anything, it's not a performance enhancer. It will destroy your performance in certain things. So it shows you out. It doesn't like amp you up. It doesn't help you in a sport. So I don't get it. I don't know. It's corporate policy. I get it. It's corporations. If they pay you like millions of dollars, they want you to do exactly what they want you to do. So, but I just think it's not right because, especially when it's legal, which it will be soon.
So, is it confirmed that that's what he was busted for?
That's what I know it as. I don't, and it's not confirmed. That's what I heard.
Well, that's super odd because again,
I don't have it confirmed.
Again, Bobby Roode is one of those guys you don't seem. It doesn't seem.
But like see, to me, that's nothing. To me, that's not. But to me, he was just hanging around one of his friends. They probably smoked around him. That's because he can get onto you. It can get in your hair strands, especially if they do hair strand tests. All you got to do is just be around someone. It's not joking. Those tests are really weird. But and personally, I just don't find it valid. It's basically like back in the old days, someone testing you for whiskey. I don't understand it.
Alright.
Just personally. I know a lot of other people that think that, though, too.
And somebody that has been released but's looking for a job, Teddy Hart, was spotted on AEW the other day.
Teddy Hart?
Yeah, Teddy Hart. He was just released from MLW.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Teddy Smith?
No, Teddy Hart.
Or Teddy Hart. What? Oh, he was released?
From MLW, yeah, apparently.
Yeah, the one who used to be crazy. Okay.
Used to be crazy.
I mean, really crazy. Like, he used to, like, be in jail and shit. But no, I like him. It's too bad what's happened to him. That's too bad. Do you know what happened? Like, why he got fired?
I do not know. But what are your thoughts on, him maybe landing on his feet in AEW?
I don't see that happening if MLW fired him.
That's interesting. Why is that?
Because if someone... Okay, just think about it. If you're a company like AEW, do you want to take everyone else's scraps that they discard on purpose? No, you don't want to do that. And they go out of their way not to do that. That's why there's so many former WWE guys who haven't come to AEW yet. Because they want to show new talent. They've already said that on numerous occasions. I know that's their mind of thought.
We talked about this a little bit last week. And I would really like to get your opinion on this. Dave Meltzer said that Cody is the most over babyface in all of pro wrestling.
No.
Thank you. Who's more over?
The Fiend. The Fiend.
But the Fiend's not a babyface.
He's not a babyface, but he ain't a heel. He's a cheered, like, you could call him middle of the road antagonist, I guess. But he stands on that middle ground where if you call people who get cheered babyfaces, technically he is a babyface.
But let's say that wrestling for once in its life is black and white, and
then it wouldn't be wrestling.
Exactly. But the bad guys are bad guys. Which the Fiend, I'm sorry, is a bad guy. He's the heel going into TLC.
I'm just saying he's like a Stone Cold Steve Austin who acts like a bad guy but gets cheered. So that's what I'm getting. Where I come from, even if you have a persona of a bad guy, if you get cheered, you're considered a face. Regardless of how it comes to be. Even if it's like some backward shit, like Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day.
Well, the way I see it is, if you're battling heels, then you're a baby face, and if you're battling faces,
I think it has to. What I've always been taught is it has, or what I've always held is that it is based on the crowd reaction. The crowd decides. Yeah.
If you had a second pick.
I hate to say this. I'm probably going to get shit on for saying this right now. Roman Reigns.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's doing good.
I mean, he's doing better than he has in previous years in WWE.
Because I know it's because the spotlight isn't forced upon him. That's why. Because when they were trying to shove him down our throats, you had me hating him. Right. Because I hate it when the people behind the camera try to tell you what to like. That pisses me off more than anything else.
And then
if they do that, when I watch shows that do that, I usually go the other way. And people there's a lot of people like that, and they've got to realize that when they program these matches.
Yeah, he's kind of in the position that Seth was maybe a year ago, where he's slowly
Oh my
building
God,
momentum.
Seth, man, did he? Now he is. Thank God they did the right thing in terms of turning him heel, but he did a natural heel turn online with that whole Will Ospreay situation.
You
Oh yeah, people started hating him. Oh yeah,
definitely this year has been peaks and mountains for him.
real quick, but there's like some of the best jokes I've seen, like just things that make me fucking laugh, come from people joking on Seth Rollins. There was a sign at the one of the latest shows that says Seth rides e-scooters. Kevin Owens saw that shit. It was on camera where Kevin Owens stops and looks at it and talks to the fan. There was another sign too, but that one caught my attention.
I don't know if you saw in AEW the sign that said it was an MJF sign that said MJF removed the JMF.
No, I didn't see that. But
But you
MJF
understand
is
what it
the
means,
best.
right?
MJF, real quick. You asked about the best face. The best heel in wrestling is MJF.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. And he's young as shit. He's only like 20, 21.
Yeah, he's a really good. He's good at what he does, and he's a proper heel.
Honestly, he would have been a great fucking, like, not Hollywood actor, but he's got natural acting chops. That's why he's such a good fucking wrestler. He's a really good actor.
He is.
He did this bit where, he's got that the championship ring. Hello?
The champion. I don't understand.
There was the second okay, for AEW, their second title, instead of like the Intercontinental
Oh yes,
title,
the ring.
they had
Yes.
the diamond ring. The diamond ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on like being the elite, one of the last being the elites, he comes in there to, I think it was Scorpio Sky. Okay, he walks up to Scorpio Sky and they start talking something about like some nerd thing, like not comic book, but something like that, something that they both like on TV or something like that. And slowly out of the corner of your head, like as he's like seriously looking at Scorpio and just talking to him, like, "Oh yeah, man, I love it." Slowly, you see him raising his hand with his ring, trying to put it in Scorpio Sky's face to kiss it, and then Scorpio keeps batting it away, and he keeps like slowly putting it back slowly trying to put it back next to his lips. But you gotta see the clip; it's fucking hilarious.
I will look into that.
Yeah, you gotta check that out.
Now we are wrestling. We will be covering TLC a little later, previewing the show. Well, next week we will have full coverage of NWA Into the Fire and Ring of Honor Final Battle.
Into the fire. That's such a ringy tune, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got
To the fire.
Yeah, I got Kaliko singing that last week.
But yeah, it's a straight 80s, dude. That makes you feel like you're in the 80s again.
If I was born in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I was 6 at the end of the 80s, so
What you're
don't
trying
worry.
to say is that you're super old.
I'm super old, but I just mean like the feel of it. Like even in the 90s, I wore 80s clothes. Like those funky weird clothes. So yeah, I know what it was like.
The Zumbas.
All kinds of just that tight, like those weird colors, like those 80s colors.
Did you have the mullet? Is what I'm asking.
Huh? I never had it. Screw that. No, I just mean like the clothes. I would never have a mullet.
I mean,
mullets are weird.
no, we will be wrestling with.
Knock it up. My dog, DJ, calm down, dude. Holy shit. All right, go ahead, sorry.
We will be wrestling with the Wednesday Night Wars Week 11. Let's start with with NXT first. Any thoughts on the show?
I did not get to watch it. Like I said, I didn't even see the highlights of the NXT.
Okay,
So,
well,
yeah, not gonna be much help on this one, buddy. Sorry.
and this is why we were waiting for Kaliko.
Hey man, you wanted to go? I told you I was in the middle. Like I have people waiting on me, so we're kind of caught in a pickle here.
Well,
If you want to stop and we can do it tomorrow. I mean, it's up on Kaliko. It's up to Kaliko.
Let's talk about the main the hit points of the show. Angel Garza won the cruiserweight championship from Leo Rush, which honestly is a good thing in my book. What are your thoughts on that?
I enjoyed Leo Rush, but at this it doesn't, like, either way doesn't make me lose sleep. Angel Garza's a fine athlete and he's young, but the cruiserweight title is the cruiserweight title. It's not that big of a deal. It can be used to help, jumpstart a young kid's career just as easy as anything else. So,
is Angel Garza the breakout star of the breakout star tournament? Because the eventual winner, ACH, not in wrestling anymore. Cameron Grimes is doing pretty well for himself.
yeah, I would say he's the standout. Yeah, but like I said, I think he's too young still. I think he needs to become a little or he's too green. He needs a little more experience. More calluses under the thumbs, as they would say.
And
just give him a little more time; he'll be okay.
After the match, he proposed to his girlfriend.
Yeah, I saw that. That was nice. That was sweet.
Do you think this one is actually going to get down to the aisle, or do you think this is another John Cena and Nikki Bella?
Okay, when it comes down to relationships or with people that are not in the wrestling business, my stance is it's none of our fucking business. If they don't put their lives in public and they don't want it public, it shouldn't be I don't like to talk about stuff like that. We don't know. It's just a personal thing. But yeah, I don't like, especially when it comes to like relationship stuff, unless they're public figures. I don't like talking about that stuff.
Just make a joke.
I'm just commenting on it.
All right.
You want me to just make a joke?
Make a joke about it. This is wrestling with entertainment after all.
We can have we're still having entertainment. I'm giving you my opinion. You want me to lie?
No.
I'm telling you what I think.
All right. Since you did not see any other thing from, the other big point of that show was Finn Balor.
Well, I saw
won a number one contendership to wrestle Adam Cole next week for the championship. What are your thoughts on that?
It'll be a damn good match. I'm looking forward to that. I will be watching that. So,
call it now. Who's gonna win?
Adam Cole, baby.
And also Rhea Ripley will be wrestling Shayna Baszler for the women's championship.
Shayna, all the way, Shayna.
Really? Why is that?
Shayna Baszler. Because Shayna Baszler's a fucking badass, dude. And if you try to take away her steam now, you're stupid, in my opinion. You ride that train, baby. That's a fucking money train. The Shayna Baszler train. She probably, like I said, we've talked about this. She's probably the best female wrestler on the roster right now.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because you could kind of say the same thing for Rhea Ripley at this point. They pushed her hard at Survivor Series weekend. And
they're two different types. Like, one's like a technician type, and then Shayna Baszler's just a straight, I'm going to punch you in the jaw type, you know, not much. Yeah, she has technical prowess, but she doesn't, you know, live or die on, like, you know, arm bars or suplexes, you know.
but if one person could replace Shayna Baszler as champion right now, don't you think Rhea Ripley is a suitable replacement?
I think she can do it, but if I had a say in NXT, I would go with Toni Storm over Rhea Ripley.
Really? You think Tony's more over than Rhea?
Oh, I would. Me personally, yeah, I would. Yep. I would definitely push Toni Storm over Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's young still. Like, I think they're both young, but I mean, Tony has had more experience. That's where I'm getting at. And it shows, I think.
Do you have any comments on AEW?
It was. You're not gonna run down the show, or?
No, we're not doing that format anymore.
Oh, we're not?
Nope.
Oh, okay. The Joey Janela part where he had what's his name tied up, Tully Blanchard tied up. That was okay. I mean, I heard some stuff of like a couple weeks ago. Joey Janela. It easily probably was a work, but like no, it wasn't a work, but I think he like got out of hand. Like, for an hour, he posted something on Twitter saying like he was pissed off of how AEW was using him, and that in like a couple of weeks they've destroyed the character that he built for 14 years. This is stuff he said, and then like within an hour he deleted the tweet, and then he showed up on TV, so they probably worked it out. Other than that, yeah.
Dude, George Janela's an odd guy, honestly.
I don't know. Well, to each their own. Yeah, there's a lot of odd people in wrestling. Fuck yeah.
But
you gotta be a little off, dude. You gotta be a little off in the head to do that for a living.
But what I'm getting at, it seems like he's getting pushed by AEW. He's in an actual program with another.
Yeah, well, like I told you, I think he brought it. I think he became vocal, and he, like I said, he deleted that tweet like an hour after he did it. So he probably talked with the Young Bucks, Kenny or Cody. He probably sat down and talked with them, and then, like within a day, he shows back up on TV, all of a sudden having a program which he never had before. You think that's a coincidence? It fits. It fits the narrative of what I've heard.
And the Blade, the Butcher, and the Bunny made their debut this week, going up against Cody and QT Marshall. What are your thoughts on these guys?
I didn't know what to think about them at first. What's his name? The Butcher looks exactly like Silas Young, but chubbier.
Yes, thank you. He looks like
I caught that. I saw that.
Silas Young.
Yeah, he's a little fatter though. He definitely had a little too much Thanksgiving turkey. It looks like, but and the Blade, I believe, is Allie's fiance.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and okay, I gotta say, I will say this. I'll admit this. I wasn't like, in terms of like sex appeal, I didn't really like Allie that much. I didn't think she was very attractive for me personally, until I saw her wear that bunny suit. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I see it now.
Have you ever saw New Japan, the Yujiro's escort?
The what? Say that again?
Have you ever seen New Japan? You know Yujiro of the Bullet Club?
Not familiar, no.
Okay, well,
I don't. I haven't been watching New
he
Japan for a
well,
while.
he has an escort that has a bunny outfit like that, but a lot
Oh,
less women.
yeah. Real quick, it's not the origins of that is actually Final Fantasy 15 or the Final Fantasy universe. Uh, that's where that comes from. It's a character class. Like and they can only be females. So I forget what they're called, but that's where they come from.
And we have the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny now. We have the Dark Order. Is it just me, or does
Yeah,
AEW have a S&M fetish?
but it's something like that, right? But no, I like what they're doing with the Dark Order. I like that, and I just hope that they do it right. That however they're gonna go with this. Yeah, I've heard Alex Reynolds of the Beaver Boys is gonna be involved. Like he's already in a segment with him, but then I heard like 2 or 3 other people were gonna be involved. So I gotta see how this works out.
It
Gotta see how they do
it
it.
seems like it's finally coming together for them.
Yeah, in terms of storyline, I still don't like. I'm not yet haven't become a huge fan of Uno's in-ring work, but he's slowly growing on me like a bad fungus.
Well, I've had a love-hate relationship with them. First I loved them, then they became the Dark Order. I hated them, and now I'm kind of digging
Yeah.
what they're doing with these cult videos.
I like. I think it's different. It's creepy. That's what they're going for, and I like different. It's something new, so I'm down for it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with.
And there was a tag team match between Hangman Page, Kenny Omega. They fought Kip Sabian and Shawn Spears, as you talked about beforehand. And there was kind of some allusion to Hangman maybe turning heel.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen until Marty. I think Marty's comeback will initiate a Hangman heel turn.
You
That
think
he and Marty, I believe he and Marty, and maybe other people. I don't know who. I'm not gonna say who. Maybe other people, unless they re-sign with where they're at, and they're with Marty. They're part of the what do you call it, Villain Enterprises. So you can know who that is. The 3 people
exactly?
in it. Yeah, Flip. Uh,
Brody.
yeah, PCO Flip and what's his name?
Brody
The other
Lee.
guy. Oh, yeah, Brody. So there's gonna be another Brody pretty soon, but yeah, Brody
Yep.
Lee. But yeah. So if they don't re-sign with ROH, they might come with Marty, and then Hangman heel turn. I could see happening, like them
So
turning on the Elite. Yeah.
let's say just for argument's sake that Marty doesn't come to AEW, Brody, all of Villain Enterprises doesn't come into AEW. Where do you see
Okay.
that?
Well,
Where do you see a Hangman heel turn taking him?
to turn on the Elite, like to turn on it because he already started it. He already started saying, "I'm the loser of the Elite. I'm always the guy without a championship in the Elite, the worst of the Elite." And he's
Well,
like, "Screw that." He already said, "Screw that. I'm not doing that anymore." So and he premeditated it by having he had a pick at the end of one of the last, not the last one, but one of the last 3 or 4 being the Elites. He put down a picture. He was like, at the very end, he put down a picture that was him, Marty, and the Young Bucks and Kenny when they were in Japan. And so that's what I'm believing is premeditating the Marty comeback.
that's you keep bringing up being the elite, which is
Yeah,
obviously
because it's real quick. It's a huge thing about their storylines. They put almost everything that they do storyline wise in that show.
yeah, and I've watched being the elite for a long time. I've stopped. I've been busy. I for some kind of reason I just stopped. Maybe because the episodes are 20 minutes now. Um,
Yeah, well, I've always found them. I always on every Monday I watch it
uh,
right when it comes out.
but do you think that now that they're running a company that their storyline should be YouTube based and not on the show?
No, what do you mean? Like, define that for me. What do you mean YouTube based?
What I'm getting at is not everybody that watches AEW knows that being the elite is where all the storylines is.
Yeah, but they want to try to get everyone who watches Being the Elite to watch Dynamite. That's
Well,
their goal.
that's Well, isn't the people that are watching being the elite watching Dynamite?
That's what I'm getting at. That yeah, you were insinuating that wasn't the case. I thought.
No, the opposite. The people that are watching AEW that only know AEW aren't
Okay,
watching
gotcha.
being the elite.
Right,
And
there should be more of a. You're right. There should be more of a like. They should link it more, link it together more. They should.
yeah, maybe so highlights from
Yeah,
the
but they already have a AEW Dark, but you could still for all the deep stuff you could still have another pre-show that shows the Being the Elite stuff. Yeah, they usually can do that. Just up to what they want, you know.
I
It's
don't
their
know if
money.
you heard about Chris Jericho doing a meeting with all the tag teams.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, uh, briefly, I didn't hear anything like back from anyone in particular, but I just heard what happened. That he had a come to Jesus meeting with a lot of them, especially Ortiz and Santana, or not Ortiz. I'm sorry, the Lucha Brothers, about the the psychology of tagging and stuff like that.
and what do you learn on that? What do you think?
I agree with him. You know where I fucking land on that. I've said it so many times. I've said, how many times have you heard me say like there's no selling, there's no there there's no psychology of working like getting to the tag of one guy being beat down, of them using teamwork. They don't even tag when they come to the corner a lot because they're flying in and out,
Right.
you know. So that you got to remember the psychology. Otherwise, it does. He's right. It makes you look stupid and makes you look like there's no rules, and it makes it look really, really like just not for non-intelligent people, like thinking that they can, uh, kind of what WWE did. That's how WWE got on my nerves by making me feel like they were speaking down to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they gotta watch that.
So, I would ask you, do you think that they're making those adjustments? But I've seen some minor adjustments in the last week or two. So hopefully they're
I mean, I can see where I can tell the before and after of when Jericho talked to them, because you saw more tagging, you saw more psychology. You saw them doing stuff. It wasn't just in and out. They were figuring out, they were doing the little intricate stuff in between that you need to do in certain tag team matches. Or not just like I said, the flying in and out of the ring, but like strategy,
right.
it's yeah, as a wrestler you've got to make it real, and you've got to make everyone that's there believe it. So that if you don't, then if you can't suspend belief, then that's a problem you're going to have as a wrestler. And I understand the lucha libre but you still have to understand psychology. And I'm glad Jericho got to.
I think that's one of the benefits of having a veteran like Chris
Yeah.
Jericho.
Well, here's the thing. You also, I'm thinking, wait a second. Chris Jericho's not the only vet there that can tell him this kind of stuff. You got Dustin Rhodes. You got Arn Anderson. You got Dean Malenko. You got a lot of veterans back there that can tell these guys something. And so I'm kind of shocked that this hadn't come up earlier, honestly. It might be because they just have so much respect for people making their own way that maybe they just let it go and think, hey, they've gone this far in their career. If they want to, let them learn on their own kind of thing. I've seen people do that where they just let people learn on their own. But
well, Arn Anderson is coming from a company that very much told him what to do.
Because he wasn't part of the staff then. He was paid to wrestle. It's different. It's like you work for Amazon. You don't try to come into the board meetings, do you? No, you're just a scrub at Amazon,
Right. Alright, and that will conclude our coverage of the Wednesday Night Wars, Week 11. And now we are wrestling with...
Are you real quick? Are you sure it's week 11? I thought it was week 12.
No, I think it's week 11.
Okay, I'll look. I'll make sure of that just in case, because I thought for sure I saw 12, but it's not a big deal.
Who cares at this point?
Yeah, who cares, right?
We are wrestling with WWE TLC predictions. It is tomorrow. And we don't have a lot of matches, but we do have a couple confirmed ones. So let's cover those ones.
Well, first off, I have rejoined the picket line and getting rid of the WWE Network.
Oh my god. Why?
I don't want to pay for that shit. So go. What are the predictions? Sorry. What were you saying?
You're just gonna get it again. So what's the point?
Maybe, but I'm not gonna pay now. If I do, it'll probably be around Royal Rumble time.
You realize that's in like 2 months.
Yeah, you do realize that saves me at least $10, right? And $10 is a lot for me.
Alright, the first match up is the Viking Raiders will defend the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships against to be announced. It's an open challenge.
I don't know. If there's not an announced team, I don't like making predictions because if I don't know, if you don't know who's facing them, it's kind of hard. I would think, unless it's someone that shocks me, I'm going with the Viking Raiders. Unless it's someone like, oh, wait a second, it changes the script kind of thing.
It could be Gallows and Anderson.
That's not a script changer, in my opinion. I would go with the Viking Raiders if it was someone that we know, like a team that is active on the WWE roster. If it's anyone that we see all the time like that, it's Viking Raiders.
Yeah. The New Day defends the SmackDown Championships against the Revival.
Okay, heart and mind are in two different places on this one. I want the Revival to win, but their contracts are coming up soon. It's not happening. The New Day win.
Yeah. If that's the case, then New Day's definitely winning.
They're not re-signed. They haven't re-signed, and their contracts are up in February or March. So.
A tables match: Rusev versus Bobby Lashley. I don't think we've ever talked about this rivalry between Rusev and Bobby Lashley yet.
You know what? I don't like it, but Vince does, and Rusev does, and they all love it. And hey, man, if they want to make themselves look like cucks, that's on them, right? I wouldn't do it personally, but I predict Rusev crush.
So you're going with Rusev?
Yeah, Rusev Crush.
I
I
think,
said.
it's obviously it's a formula trying to get Rusev over, because Lana was the the head of that dynamic. She was the more over. Do you think that this rivalry is at least getting him over?
Uh, sorry. I'm sorry. Who are you speaking of again? I
Rusev.
looked up for a second. Rusev. Do I think he's getting over?
Do you think
Me personally.
this rivalry
Uh,
particularly?
Personally, I think he's doing what he wants to do. If it makes him happy, then that's all that really matters, right? If you're happy in the sport, that you know,
I think
the
getting
thing
over
I don't
matters.
like seeing, the thing I don't like seeing is when they're stuck and they're trapped in a situation they don't like being in. But he seems to be fine with this cucking thing. I personally don't like it, but I could see how it's getting over with other people, but not with me personally.
I'm definitely going with Rusev as well. Um,
Okay.
it seems like he was never really over to begin with, and obviously Rusev Day was a thing that people loved. But I kind of
That it was real quick. It was a thing people love because it was organic. When you force stuff down, like I said, here we go again. When you force stuff down people's throats, they react the opposite of the way you want them to react, especially if you try to force it down the throat. So yeah, that's a rule I would have to never like to try to force an agenda on the paying crowd. Never do that. That's my personal opinion.
but again, I think they're trying to get a bigger reaction and trying to push him as a major baby face. I just don't see it, unfortunately, and I don't feel like the reactions he's getting aren't as big as they should be, considering the way that they're treating this rivalry.
Okay, well, real quick, he's definitely a superstar. He definitely has the ability to be a champion. I don't like this gimmick for him. But like I said, he does, and Lana does, and Vince loves it. So if they are cool with it, yeah, he's not getting a huge reaction. He's getting the reaction he's looking for out of Vince McMahon. That's the only reaction that matters, really.
You have a
So,
point there.
huh?
Alright, Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. What's your favorite fruit? I'm thinking it's squash.
Fruit or vegetable, depending on who you ask. But I'm going with I'm gonna go with Buddy Murphy.
Aleister Black.
I'm gonna
Aleister
go with
Black
Buddy
all the way.
Murphy. Just because I'm sure Alistair might win, but I like Buddy Murphy.
I hate Buddy Murphy.
We're different on this one, then.
Alright, this is the most interesting match on the card. Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend. Bray Wyatt is fighting the
Right.
Miz.
I like. Okay, me and Scooter used to talk about this idea where you separate Bray Wyatt and the Fiend. I've been waiting for this. That I just want to see it unfold. Like I've already talked about this so many times. So I've said it. I brought it up so many other times. I'm sure you've heard me say it. But let's just see what they do with it because there's so many ways you can go with this.
I actually really like this concept and this idea because, the Fiend don't wrestle. I think it's been pretty evident that the Fiend just does his stupid red light gimmicky shit, and Bray Wyatt,
But you gotta make the Fiend special, you know. So I think it's good.
but Bray Wyatt actually has wrestling ability. We've seen him have really good matches in the past. So I
That's
think
because that's because Bray Wyatt has a soul. The Fiend doesn't. The Fiend is not a human. He's a supernatural being. So they're gonna act different.
Well,
That's just a given.
first and foremost, Bray Wyatt could actually have a match that people want to see. An entertaining match. Second of
I know how to express. I know what you're saying. The Bray Wyatt is a good wrestler. The Fiend is a good attraction. Is basically what you're saying.
yes,
Yeah.
and there's that hint of fear that Bray Wyatt might lose the belt because with the Fiend,
Yeah. You can't have the Fiend lose, in my opinion. You can't. I
yeah,
think everyone would lose their collective shit
well,
because of how they've.
he's gonna lose a match eventually.
But it has to be done artfully, and he's already lost the one to Seth Rollins, and he's been booked as a supernatural character that can't be taken down. You've got to make sure he finds ways out of defeat all the time, and that's what he's done so far. So when he has to lose or drop a title, you go back to the Bray Wyatt character.
Exactly, and I think that's pretty smart.
And that's how you keep the Fiend strong while still being able to do what you want to do.
But I see it as, yeah, the Fiend is this strong supernatural being that can't be beat, but whoever is the first person to actually beat him is going to be immediately over.
But Seth Rollins beat him, technically. Remember?
No, technically that was
Hell in a Cell. Oh, it was a okay. Well, still, that to everyone else, he seemed like, because he was on the ground, knocked out. So that was like kind of tantamount to getting beat up.
Nah, 50-50.
You saw how everyone lost their shit. It was on the borderline, I would say.
Alright. Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah, I think so. But what you brought up was a very good point. He could lose just because he's Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend this time. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go with Bray though.
And I have an interesting concept. What if the Fiend actually makes an appearance and help Bray Wyatt win the match?
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I don't want any other person but Bray to be the Fiend, if that makes sense. Personally.
I think that's fair enough. We've had other Undertakers before as well.
Yeah, and that didn't work out. Brian Lee, his poor soul. Bless his poor soul.
Alright, TLC match. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. I hate TLC matches when there's no belt on the line.
Sorry, Baron Corbin versus who? Say that again?
Roman Reigns.
Oh, this fucking match again? For the fucking 300th time! Jesus Christ! I'm getting tired of this match. It's been since before this WrestleMania we've had this feud going on. Roman Reigns, just because Baron Corbin poured dog food on him, and storyline wise, it makes sense for Roman to get the win. But I hope this ends this fucking feud, man. I never want to see them wrestle each other again.
And women's TLC Tag Team Championship match, the Kabuki Warriors versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
Okay, well, I'm a huge Becky and Charlotte fan, but I'm gonna go with the Kabuki Warriors.
I actually agree with you there.
They deserve it. It's their time. Yeah. I like their new, their darker personas. When they changed their attire and stuff, that's when they really started getting going. And when Asuka started wearing the Grey Muda stuff, that's when it really started to turn for the better.
And I think Becky and Charlotte needs antagonists, and they're doing a great job of doing that.
Yeah, but part of the story, part of the storyline is going to be they screw up and they get pissed at each other, and that's how they're going to lose or something like that.
Oh yeah.
You just know it. You can see it coming. And that's the thing with real quick. That's the thing though with WWE. you can't be so obvious when you're making these storylines or building them up. You gotta have some element of surprise. You know what I mean?
Right. And I see Kaliko's actually trying to come in, but he is not responding.
We can hold on for a second.
Alright, and that should end our coverage of WWE TLC. We have a big show next week. We're covering TLC, NWA Into the Fire.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah. Out of all there's a lot of pay previews this month. Out of all of them, I think that's the most excited I am.
Yeah, me too. I know people are mad at him, but I think Jim Cornette is part of he is was a big part of the NWA and that style of wrestling. I really do.
I think they'll bring him
and
back.
I hope he eventually comes back. But...
Yeah, I think they'll bring him
back.
Wait,
I just saw a pop-up of Kaliko. Yeah, he says he's setting up. Okay.
Oh, well, that's tragic. We are done.
Ah! Are you glad I made you? Aren't you glad now that I didn't have you wait? Or yeah.
Well, he was a. We'll talk about it later. Off-air shit. So thank you for watching. You can please like, subscribe, and comment on both YouTube and Castbox. I am James J, and you can follow all of us on Twitter. What's your Twitter, Mitch?
And you can hit me up on Twitter at MitchMayhemX.
I am James J99 at James J993. You can find Kaliko at I am Kaliko, and the late Scooter Dust you can find at Scooter Dust. Send your thoughts and prayers. He might be.
We'll see what he thinks about that.
He might be
yeah, we'll see what he thinks about that next week.
He might be resurrecting on Sunday. We don't know. Maybe next week. We don't know. But he's resurrecting. Yep. For my co-host Mitch Mayhem, Kaliko Yacht Scooter Dust, who are not here, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Happy holidays!